I started racing against them. And I remember I was in the trolley run race in Kansas City, Missouri, and I got second place in the trolley run. And I was like, hey, I think I'm pretty fast. I only got second because I slipped on mud, you know?
So our next guest are David Brown, Paralympic gold medalist in the 100 meters, fastest man in his division, and Jerome Avery, who has been winning races alongside David since 2014. Fellas, what was happening in your worlds when life as we knew it stopped? David, we'll start with you here.
So we were training at the training center at that period of time. And then, of course, the social distancing rules came into play. And it's kind of hard to social distance with somebody when you're connected to them. So we had to switch our training up a little bit. Now we're switching to more individualized training where Jerome is clapping me down like for 60 meters, 30 meters, different distances. We're not able to run with tether anymore. So we're doing shorter distances and more repetitions as far as sprints goes, and keeping the social distancing that way. You know what I'm saying?
And Jerome, have you guys been quarantining together? Have you guys been quarantining separately? What has been this process?
Yeah, we've been separate pretty much for the most part. As soon as we heard it was going down and they were slowly starting to shut things down, that's when me and David took a little break from each other, which I think he might have liked a little bit, you know, being together.
Yeah, Jerome was already living off site. I was living on site. And so Jerome was coming in and out of the training center, and they were starting to shut down to where off-site residents wasn't able to come back into the center and stuff like that. So I ended up quarantining myself off-site as well. And we just stayed in separate locations and continued to keep in touch and train that way.
Most definitely.
And for people who may not be familiar, explain the power of this partnership. How does it work between the two of you? We'll start with you here, Jerome.
Well, I mean, the tether, of course, it's a bond between us. And of course, it started well before we were running together. We were definitely friends. We developed that brotherhood. And so no matter what, off the track, you know, me and him will always have a strong relationship. You know, I definitely believe in what he's doing, and that's what keeps the fire burning in me and keep me involved in the sport. So, you know, it started off, of course, and then I think that's what allowed a lot of our success to, you know, kind of flourish, you know, between the training.
And it's me believing in Jerome, too. He keeps saying he believes in what I'm doing. I'm believing in what he's doing at the same time as far as a guide runner and as far as him training and staying in shape as well. That's why I'm keeping him around, because he's still fast enough and he's continuing the grind and putting in the work as well as me. So, of course, you know, seeing his determination and as hard as he's working and his willingness and sacrifice that he's putting in at the same time. But most importantly, the speed that he has, you know, is also what helps. And then, of course, like he mentioned, the biggest thing is the brotherhood that we had, not just on the track, but off the track as well.
So you said, Jerome, that you guys were already friends, which is interesting to me. So at what point did you two meet? And then at what point did you two decide we need to work together? This thing could be a team. So when did the transition happen there?
So we actually met in 2010, and it was they just brought him on for the Paralympic team to pin relays to run. And he happened to partner up with me. And, you know, that was our first meeting. And we actually only had one race together for that first race. And he did pretty well. The Paralympics brought him on, and he just continued to grind and continue to get better. And we actually didn't fully come on as Team Bravery until 2014. So he was working with other people, and he's done well through the realms. And it just so happened to where David at the time was looking for another guide runner because his guide runner wasn't able to be there with him at the time, and I was willing and ready.
See, David, that Team Bravery thing, that's pretty badass now. I like what's going on with this Team Bravery thing. Who started that, and what do you think of the nickname?
Yeah, so my sister actually did. So she was just doing like some fun little marketing things for me and Jerome, you know, getting our name out there, you know, social media posts and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, we got to get this Brown and Avery thing going, this Team Bravery. And I was like, Brown and Avery, Bravery. I was like, I kind of like that. And so I was like, hey, my sister, she got us a name, bro, Bravery. He was like, well, where's your name come in? I'm like, the BR and Brown. And then
took me a little bit to actually get it. I had to think about it.
Yeah, I had to keep on thinking about it and went over his head quite a few times. But he caught it and he liked it, and it just stuck ever since. Like, a lot of people was just like, whoa, that's awesome. You can go so deep. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but it was just a combination of our last names.
It just, the whole thing works. You know what I mean? It works perfectly for you guys. And so as it does work perfectly, I'm curious what makes you the perfect match from a coach's perspective. Why are you two the perfect match as partners?
I mean, but what makes us a good match is, our height, our dedication, our efforts, our work ethics, just the day in, the day out, the grind that we put in, and the dedication to our craft and continuation to get better.
Yeah. I think both of us still have that fire and that desire to be successful and be the best. And we know we haven't even reached the top of where we wanted to go. With his hunger and with my hunger, the sky's the limit. I really feel that, like I've said this before, I was put here at this moment in time to be David's eyes, and I'm going to do whatever I can on my end to make sure David is down that track and running as fast as he can without me slowing him up or hindering him in that race to victory.
David, take me back a little bit. Your dream of becoming a sprinter, when can you remember first having that thought, first having that dream?
Well, I started doing track actually when I was 12 years old. I started doing little sprints, races against my friends on the playground prior to that, but I started doing competitive track and field when I was 12. And I believe the dream came in 2008. I went to Beijing, China, and saw the Paralympic Games live, and I believe that's when the dream actually started to wanted to be a professional sprinter, like Jerome Avery and all the other totally blind sprinters that I got to witness.
And were you always sort of fastest kid on the playground? Like, can you remember going, this whole speed thing, this comes pretty naturally to me here?
Yeah, so that actually came around 6 years old. So little background, 15 months old, I came down with Kawasaki's disease, gave me glaucoma. And when I was 3 years old, I lost my left eye due to eye surgery. I was 6 years old and my right eye started decreasing in vision. And so when I wasn't able to really play anything with a ball anymore with my friends, like kickball, basketball, and stuff like that, I started racing against them. And I remember I was in the trolley run race in Kansas City, Missouri, and I got second place in the trolley run. And I was like, hey, I think I'm pretty fast. I only got second because I slipped on leg, So I probably could have got first. But I was like, I got some speed. And I was able to see where I was going. So I went to the playground, ran again, and I was able to see where I was going on the playground. So I just started competing against my friends like that. And I was like, you know what, this speed, I got some speed. Maybe I could just race against them, and stay active that way. I never really looked at it as a profession. It was just something to stay active and just, stay competitive against my friends.
Yeah. And Jerome, I know you have a history of being a great sprinter in your own right. So I'm curious about what made you also want to start running with great runners like your friend David.
I think it was one of those, I was at a point in time in my life where I knew that going and trying for the Olympics, it just wasn't going to happen. My personal best was a 10:16. And in order to be on that podium, in order to make it to the games, you have to be a 9-something consistent runner. I was pretty fast and I was good enough to make the Olympic trials, but I wasn't going to get on that podium and I wasn't going to make it to the games. And it was just one door closes, another one opens, and opportunity presented itself for me to be good at guide running and creating my own craft and my own little niche. And I just stuck with it. And I paired up with so many amazing athletes, David Brown being one of them. And it just went on from there. And I love the sport. I love celebrating the sport. I love being an ambassador of the sport and speaking out, finding anybody with vision problems or asking them, have they heard about, the Paralympics, and finding people to pair up with. So there could be more guide runners out there and do the exact same thing I'm doing.
I'm like, we need more athletes too, like Jerome said, just being the ambassador, guide runners as well as athletes. We have a lot of guide runners are wanting to come on board and want to be a part of it, but we need more athletes.
Yeah.
Biggest thing.
And I was thinking, Jerome, what feeling or what reward do you get racing alongside David that you never really experienced a feeling as a solo runner?
I mean, it's a solo runner. Of course, it's an individual race. Coming in with David, it's more of a team. You know, it's definitely a team that we have going on. So it's, I like to say, success through selflessness. You know, as our partnership and as we're a team, if he wins, I automatically win. That's the best feeling you can get right there. Whatever he does, and if he's successful, then I'm a part of that right there. That goes the same for any employees that work together, teachers, you know, that see the students come through and what they're doing through to some of the stuff that they've helped them with. That's a part of it right there. So success through selflessness. And I'm a big ambassador and a pusher of that.
Yeah. And David, I was going to ask you too, you guys just have this natural chemistry between the two of you, almost like you could start a podcast or a TV show tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
That's off the track. So
you could do something like that, David.
Maybe you should. This could be a launching pad. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm a small part of this. But off the track, David, how close have you two become?
I mean, like Jerome mentioned earlier, me and him were like brothers. We'll go out and grab sushi, you know, together. We'll go to the beach. It's been a while since we actually grabbed sushi. You know, we'll go to the beach and stuff. We'll hang out. You know, that's the thing. We're just, you know, brothers, you know. So off the track is just how any other people will hang out. You know, it's just like that.
Yeah. Even though we're not training together at this moment in time, I still check up on him and ask him what's going on, you know, making sure he's good. And
vice versa.
Yeah. So those are things. And now that San Diego is slowly opening up things and everything as far as the beach where you can run, you know, we have different ideas, of trying to still have that distancing, but try to get in that realm of moving together, kind of, sort of, just different ideas. We still haven't worked on it out and, you know, worked the kinks out or whatnot, but we always are in communication with each other.
And I just went back and I was rewatching that gold medal race of 2016. I don't want to say anything, but you guys whooped the field. You guys whooped the field pretty damn good in that race. So I'm curious about that feeling. When you cross the finish line, you hear the roars of that crowd. David, how do you describe what that feels like for you after all the work you put in?
Honestly, I was zoned in too much. I couldn't really hear the roar of the crowd. And when we came across the line, I was still in my zone. I heard Jerome celebrating, and I was thinking to myself, did I win?
Yep.
It took me like 5 seconds to realize that I won. And then it was like, oh, yeah.
So how did you break the news to him then, Jerome? How did you try to whisper to him?
He did it. That's the thing.
I get overly excited. I definitely get overly excited. And I think by my movements and everything, that's when he said, hey, did I win? And I was like, yes. And that was the thing.
I'm like, you didn't even say anything. It was just more so just him celebrating. I'm like, so did I win? He's like, yeah.
He does that other movement.
So David actually had to actually ask you the question of whether or not he won.
He did. I knew he knew he was going to win that race, but he definitely asked it. He asked it.
Overall, based on how you'd been training, based on everything leading up to it, evaluate that race. Was that your guys' best in 2016? Or are we still getting ready to see your best in 2021? What kind of a race was that one?
I don't know if that was our best. It was one of our fastest times clocked till this day. It was a 10:99. But I don't think that was our best. You know, personally, Jerome keeps on saying, you know, David knew that, you know, we were going to win that way. Honestly, I didn't know, because anything could happen. I knew I was ready. I knew how I was feeling. And there was a lot of things that I felt I could have did better. So I feel the best is yet to come in that from that. So I want to say that was our best race, but it was good enough, I guess you could say, to get us the medal. But it wasn't the best.
And so as we get ready and as you're in pursuit here of a repeat in 2020, how do you sort of slow your training now and then ramp back up for an event that is now 12 months beyond where you had it on the schedule? We'll start with you here, Jerome.
I think that gives us, as a vet, you know, we've been around for a while, so I think that gives us more time to get the little things right, you know, as far as our diet. You know, if we may feel like we were lacking on our diet, you know, just those little muscles that we needed to work with. And with giving us more time, I think we'll become even more deadlier when we run the race. You know,
yeah, Jerome and I were two different we're the same in the sense of we're both sprinters, but how we train, we're similar, but yet different. Jerome likes to focus on a lot more different things and aspects and different systems than I would. Like right now, I'm focusing more on my endurance and even speed endurance. And that's kind of how I ramp down my speed, well, not my speed, but my training a little more and more strength training, you know, for the simple fact of if I get going, you know, I can bulk up pretty big. So, of course, it's more so focused on the diet. I can get some muscle mass down, can get, I guess you could say, some fat percentage down, and be able to get my endurance up to where when we start training again, I can recover a lot faster, run a lot faster, be a lot stronger. Just long-term benefits in the end. Maybe over there, he's focusing more on sprint speed because he knows he's going to have to stay faster than me and be able to recover and be able to be strong. Because, of course, he's running with me, and I can't see anything. I'll go left and right, and I'm 165 pounds tugging on somebody. You know, that's probably even more, you know, when we're sprinting. So that's not easy. He's going to have to be able to be strong enough to be able to control, you know, me in the race, as well as run fast and, you know, all those different aspects. Like he said, the little things, the little muscles he'll have to focus on, and as well as me.
Yeah. There's a lot of adjustments that have to be made in those races. You know, saying like David was mentioning, he may veer out. So I have to make sure the right side, which he runs on, has to be strong to control that race and that arm movement as well. It's not a natural feeling of two people running together.
It's not.
And matching his cadence, because anything could happen. You know, I could actually tweak something to hurt myself, straining to get up in that position to match his technique. So those are those areas that I actually have to focus on strengthening, you know, all the time.
How much of the adjustments that you're talking about are you making with your hand? How much of the adjustments are you making verbally? I mean, what's your process during a race there, Jerome, if you do notice that you guys are getting a little off path or what have you?
I mean, it depends on the race. It depends on whether or not David veers out a little bit or goes in straight. Usually he is really extremely good on staying straight, so we don't have those issues as much. But I definitely think that communication aspect is very important. I can see exactly where I'm going down that track. I know from 30 meters I need to be in this position. I know after 30 meters I need to gradually come up, keep my body up tall. 50 meters and my knees need to be up. I'm also looking at my peripherals and make sure I'm in those certain positions. So those are the things that I'm relaying to David while we're running all the way down the track from the beginning of the race till the end of the race. Even that last 5 meters, I'm getting him ready to prepare to lean. And I'll shout out lean. So while he's running into it, he'll start leaning towards that tape and everything matches perfectly. I think
that's crazy how go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. But it's crazy how he says he thinks I'm pretty good at going straight. Me, you know, personally, I feel I'm bad. You know, like from the deck, I may take off and I'll shoot right. And of course, like I mentioned, you know, if I'm shooting out to the right, Jerome's going to have to be able to control that. And not only that, brace himself to be able to, you know, counteract that movement of me going right. You know, me putting so much power into shooting out towards the opposite way, that's, you know, that's not easy. And then for him to go straight. And then, of course, me on my end, on what I'm adjusting, of course, to his cues, you know, and I'm trying to now at that point, if I'm shooting out to the right, I'm trying to straighten myself out. So, of course, now here my arm is having to almost feel where his arm is to line up to where he's at and then go in that direction. And now I'm adjusting my body in space to what he says as far as, okay, 30 meters, now body up tall. I got to now make sure my feet are hitting right underneath me, you know, and because, of course, I guess you could say when you're being able to see where your feet is hitting in space is a lot easier to run straight. And me having to be able to feel that. I can't really see it, of course, having to feel the repetition, you know what I'm saying, of hitting it, and then start getting tired. And it's like, okay, now here it goes. Don't lean back. Lean up straight. And then Jerome is now having to help me stay in tight because I may want to drift out to the right because here I am now I'm getting fatigued on one side. And now, okay, here you go, Dave. You got 30 meters to go. All right, now I got to get my arms up. Now we got to both adjust to that. And now getting close to the line, lean. He holds his arm out. Now I got to lean forward and stuff like that and make sure I don't go out to the right. I can't get out of my lane. If I get out of my lane, I'm disqualified. So much is going on at this, within the race, you know what I'm saying? And
you're exactly right.
There's a lot going on in his end, a lot going on my end. And it's those little things. That's what I'm within 100 meters. We only got 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all just split second type stuff.
Exactly.
And so, David, I'm curious, based on your experience of finding a way, not only down the track, but also in life, you have always seemed to just find a way. What would your message be to people looking for any sort of hope right now all around the world?
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, if you want it bad enough, then you'll find a way, whatever it may be. Being here in quarantine, I would say here I am in my element. I started out being just at home. I wasn't able to get to the track all the time. I'm from St. Louis, so my mom wasn't able to take me to the track all the time. But what I would do at home, drills, I would practice pumping my arms, boom, boom, boom. High knee drills if I could, plyometric drills, push-up drills, or push-ups and stuff like that. I was finding different workouts that I could do online and stuff like that, different things that I can try to, get, I guess you could say, conditioned enough, strong enough to where when I got into a race, I was able to run those 12 seconds or that high 11 seconds, and apparently it was good enough, I guess you could say, to get me noticed by the Paralympic director at that time, have a spot offered at the training center, and the rest is from there. Now here I am in a position to where I have these resources of strength and conditioning and nutrition and everything else. You have to take advantage of that, and being in this position now where you're at home, it's the same concept. You have to find a way, whether it be with the jump rope, whether it be with, Jerome mentioned doing high knees on your bed, different things like that. I've got a hill outside that I can run on, and it's pretty steep, but, I can go at least 30 meters on it, 15 to 30 meters, getting outside and being able to do these drills and hills and whatever it may be in order to get to where you need to go.
We call this here the lockdown lightning round. It's 3 quick ones, and we'll get you guys out of here. Number one, we'll start with you here, Jerome. It's if you could have anybody through the history of time, past or present, join your quarantine crew, who would that be and why?
I need that laughter and that excitement. It could be anybody.
Anybody.
That's a tough one.
You gonna say Kevin Hart.
I need to laugh. I know he's excited, not even with the laughter, but he got that energy to make me want to work out. So, yeah, probably, yeah, you're absolutely right. See, that's how well he knows me.
That's how you win gold medals right there. That's how you win them. How about you, David?
Me personally, anybody. The first person that popped in my head, honestly, was Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, okay.
Why Floyd, David?
Because dude is a legend within his own realm. And, hard workers. I've been watching some of his videos, and stuff like that. And I'm like, I wouldn't mind having him in my corner, pushing me through a workout and helping me, get to that level of greatness, that he's on.
I respect that. He doesn't even know how to lose. All right, we'll go for the one time you guys laughed the hardest on the track together. Is there any moment that pops into your head?
What do you think, David? We ran before, and the tether actually came completely off 15 meters outside the race, and he stayed on. After that, we were just dying, and we couldn't believe that we won the race, first off, in a pretty fast time, and we ran without the tether.
There's been many times where we've had just cracking up stuff just on the track. Like, we make up different, like, scenarios and different kind of things together. You know, like, one time I remember we were laughing pretty hard where it was like 10:38. I was like, I run 10:38, all of a sudden my vision get better.
That's right.
I walk out with swag. We were dying. It was like, damn, that'd be funny.
You guys are just awesome, and I can't wait for Tokyo 2021. Whenever we do get there, watch you guys go over, whoop some butt. It's gonna be a blast. We really appreciate the time, and both stay safe out there. I know you guys are both West Coast.
You too.
Oh yeah, you too. Appreciate it.